my name is Keisha and this is my channel, Saving Greens Homestead. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a lot to share with you and talk to you about. This video is gonna be only tomatoes that I'm planning on growing in my garden this year. So I've narrowed it down. Out of 130 different varieties, I've narrowed it down to 70 varieties that I'm planning on growing. And that's what I'm gonna be sharing with you today. So, you know, grab a drink and a seat somewhere and maybe a notepad and pen, because there might be some varieties that you've never heard of or never seen that you might be interested in. So all the ones that I'm growing this year, I have not tried all of them or tasted all of them. So that's why I picked them. That's why I chose them for this season. There are a few that I always will grow because they just taste great. You know, but the ones that I've chosen because one, I have not tried them yet. Two, they are, maybe they have unique colors or textures or shapes or whatever that caught my attention. And also, you know, I just like tomatoes. Homegrown tomatoes are just so good. So hopefully you guys share in that same passion as I do, and hopefully this will be a video that will intrigue you as much as it does me. All of these different varieties, and I'm not going to discuss all 130. That would just take too long. I'm only going to discuss the 70, which is already going to make this a long video. But I have them all listed by color. So I have some cherries picked out, some slicers picked out, some that are good for salads or whatever. But mostly I just separated them by color. So that's what I'm gonna show you, and hopefully I'll be able to post up the photos. So the ones that I don't have photos for, I will post them up on the screen so that you will see what they look like. Now there's so many, so I don't remember what each and every one looks like. I just know that I bought them for a reason. So you'll get to see what they look like. And I guess I'll be reminded as I go through and edit and look up these pictures and stuff. But I have my list right here. So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of start with the lineup that I have here in front of me. So we'll start with so for the black tomatoes, yes, black tomatoes that I'm growing this year, I have them divided in threes because if you've watched any of my garden tour videos, you know that I have tomato row. And so I have about 9 beds that I built that are specifically built for tomatoes. And so these are the ones that are going to be growing in tomato row. So these are the black ones. The first one is True Black Brandywine, and then Black Beauty. This one I'm going to grow every season. This tomato is so delicious, and it's just hard to really describe the flavor of that tomato, but it's just so delicious. And the third one is called Dark Tiger. And so those are the black that I'm growing in my tomato row. Now I'm going to grow some other black tomatoes, but they're going to be located in other areas in my garden. I'm just showing you what's going to be going into tomato row. So the next one, these are my purples. This is a new variety that I got from Baker Creek called Purple Rain. And then I also am going to be growing, it's called Moya Nor. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Some of these I'm not going to pronounce right. And Amazon Chocolate. And these are all purple. And then Okay, so these are all my red tomatoes that I selected. This one is called Delicious Hunt. And this one is called Polish. And this one is called Marmande or Marmande Garnier Rouge. So, and like I said, I'll put the pictures up on the screen so that you can see them. And then these ones, let's see. These are my yellows. I'm gonna be growing Marzipan Gold, Old Kentucky, and Florentine Beauty. Those are my yellows. You guys, I'm so excited to see these, watch these grow, because all the colors on tomato row, if all of them live, because sometimes I have issues with diseased plants, or sometimes with our weather, because I live in Southern California in the high desert, and we get pretty extreme temps, high temps in the summertime. So some of these plants don't have a chance to actually produce before summer, the harsh temps of summer hit. So I'm hoping that I can get an early start on these this season so that I can have just a row of all different colors. That would just look so cool, I think. But okay, so these are my white tomatoes. Yes, white tomatoes. I'm gonna be growing Big White Pink. Now this one is interesting because it has hints of pink on it. And then white Oxheart, and then Great White. Okay, and then next, these are all my green tomatoes that's gonna be in tomato row. I'm gonna be growing Green Giant, which I don't know, the name says that they're supposed to be big, right? It indicates giant, so hopefully they'll be big. And then Aunt Ruby's German Green, and then Evergreen. And then of the orange colors, I'm gonna grow, this one I've always grown. This is my all-time favorite tomato. I haven't found any tomato to replace the love that I have for this one. And that's the Kellogg Breakfast tomato. And it's a real big, oh gosh, it's just so good. If you've seen my video that I did on the taste review with, I used it in a tomato sandwich. So good. But also I'm gonna be growing Amana and Orange Oxheart. I don't know if you guys are seeing the names, but hopefully you are, and I can edit out the extra time because I know this is already gonna be time consuming. And then of my pink tomatoes, I'm gonna be growing Caspian Pink, West Virginia Sweet Meat, and then also a pink Oxheart. I thought it would be really interesting because I have different colors of Oxheart tomatoes. Like I have the orange Oxheart, pink Oxheart. I think I have a white Oxheart too. Yeah. I thought it'd be interesting just to see, you know, the different colors of that same type of tomato. So, okay, and then this one, these are my striped tomatoes. So I'm gonna be growing Baracker's Favorite, which is a striped, and then Red Zebra, and then Big Orange Stripe. And those are my striped. And then this set is not necessarily inside tomato row. So the striped ones, and let's see, this one, Watermelon Tomato, which is a red tomato or pinky tomato. Those will all conclude tomato row. And then these three are gonna be in a short bed that I added last season that I grew tomato and some zucchini in. So I'm gonna be growing in that bed, and it's just a 8 foot by 3 feet bed. So gold metal, and then orange jazz, and then pink jazz. Okay, and then of the cherries, I'm only growing 6 varieties of cherries this season, because last season cherry tomatoes almost it almost just did me in. So I figure I'll just keep it to 6, because cherry tomatoes are very prolific. They grow and grow and grow, and it doesn't matter if it's hot. It doesn't matter. They just continue to grow until first frost. They're growing. So this year I'm gonna grow Evil Olive, Black Zebra, Berry's Crazy Cherry. I'm excited about this one because it looks crazy. All of the tomatoes grow on a huge cluster, so I'm really interested to see that and experience that. Sunrise Bumblebee. And then I grew these last season. I'm gonna grow these again. Sun Sugar. And then this one's a new one from Baker Creek. This one is called Black Strawberry. I'm really anxious to try those this season. I'm excited about it. So, and then these guys, let's see. These are all my blue tomatoes. Yes, blue tomatoes. So this one is not necessarily blue, but it's called Dark Galaxy. And then Blue Beauty. And then Orange Blue. That's interesting. Blue Sun. Great White Blues, which is going to be really pretty. And then Yellow Dragon. Those are all my blue tomatoes. And then I'm also growing 3 different colors of tomatillo this season. I'm growing green Rio Verde, purple, oh, there it goes, and then Amarilla, or Amarilla. Now these ones I grew last year. Well, I wasn't I thought all the seeds had died that I planted in this container, and then all of a sudden one pops up, and I'm like, oh no, you can't just have one planted, because they say that it's not gonna produce anything. It has to cross-pollinate with another tomatillo plant. But what I didn't factor in is I had some ground cherries growing in a container not too far from it, and I think that's why I ended up with a harvest of yellow tomatillos, because they're from the same family. I think they cross-pollinated, and well, here we are. I was able to make some salsa. So, okay, so these are other tomatoes that I'm going to be growing in other areas of my garden. I'm going to grow these Old German. Hillbilly. Brandywine Yellow. And pink Brandywine. And then also I'm going to be growing, these are new at Baker Creek this season, Korean Long. Berkeley tie-dye. Berkeley tie-dye green. Because they have different colors of Berkeley tie-dye. I didn't know that. And then Ananas Noir. And then from Haas Mortgage Lifter. Okay, these are other ones that I'm gonna grow in another section of my garden. I'm gonna go with Black Creme. Pineapple. Giant Belgium. Vintage wine. And then this is another newbie from Baker Creek that I got my hands on. Prairie Fire. Okay, Prairie Fire. There's no picture for that one, but Orange Peach. And this one I tend to grow every season because I love it. Lucid Gem. The flavor is really good on that one. And it's a black, it has a black skin, so it has really, really good flavor. Okay, and then lastly, of all the ones that I'm gonna be growing this year, these ones I'm gonna be growing in containers. And mostly because they're not gonna grow very large. These are mostly dwarf tomatoes. This one is called Yellow Fire. This one is only gonna grow, in the description it said up to 3 feet, 4 feet at the max. So I'm gonna put that in a container. Rosella Purple. It's called Dwarf Aussie Drop. And then Dwarf Parfait. And then Dwarf Awesome. So those are all gonna be in containers. Now I know I've shown you, and you can see it says Haas on some of the seed packets, and Baker Creek on some of the seed packets, and you see these that I bought these from a new to me seed company called Renaissance Farms. And they also have a YouTube channel where you could go and you could see a lot of these tomatoes that they specialize in, and a lot of them are rare tomatoes or heirloom. But I will post their links and stuff in the bottom in the description as well. But if you go back and look at my previous video showing all the seed companies, then you can see all the information and stuff there too. And then the last 3 that I'm going to be growing this season is Cherokee Purple, Persimmon, and Tigerella. And I'm going to grow these in containers also. And so I guess that concludes the tomatoes that I'm going to be growing this year. About 70 and count. I have like stacks and stacks of other tomatoes that didn't make the cut this season, only because I was trying to maybe not grow as many. Well, it started out that I wasn't going to grow as many. Last year I grew something like 83 or 85 tomatoes, but not all of them survived is the thing. So I didn't get a chance to taste all those different varieties. So I'm trying again on certain ones with certain ones, and then I'm trying new tomato varieties from a new to me company just to see how well they grow, and hopefully they grow well so that I can go back and get more. Because if you watch the videos for these tomatoes for this company, for Renaissance Farm, the YouTube channel is called Tomato Pictures. But if you look at the videos, oh, it just looks so good and so pretty. So I'm hoping for a good turnout this season with my tomato plants. So I tried to keep the number down. I mean, 70 is still a lot, especially for, I live on a 1/4 acre, which includes my house. So, and I have a decent sized front yard. So my backyard is not as big, but I figured out ways to be able to maximize the space and use the space a lot better so that I can grow a lot more stuff in it. If you haven't looked at one of my garden tour videos, I'll link one below for you so that you can go back and look at it. I do a lot of vertical growing. I've maximized, like I said, my space so that I can grow a lot more stuff in the space that I have. So anyways, you guys, I just love tomatoes. I am so excited. I cannot wait for this season. I'm already gonna start these seeds indoors so that I can get a jump start on everything. And man, hopefully I'll be able to put them out early and there won't be a problem with a late frost or anything like that, because I really wanna get these going and see all the different colors and textures and shapes and stuff and see how it all looks. And I will definitely share that with you in future videos. I will keep you updated on my tomatoes. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for joining me today. I guess the only thing I have left to say is, as always, God bless.